Live from the Panera Studios, it's the Reading with Robin show, brought to you each week by my friends at Panera Bread, where it's food as it should be. 100% is 100% clean. That means no artificial preservatives, sweeteners, flavors, and no colors from artificial sources. It's summertime, and the eating is easy. Stop by for a refreshing watermelon feta salad made with fresh watermelon, arugula, and mint, drizzled with champagne Dijon vinegar and extra virgin olive oil, and topped with feta, ancient grain blend, toasted almonds, and salt and pepper. As always, available in whole or half, or maybe you're in the mood for a refreshing sandwich. Try a roasted turkey and avocado BLT, roasted turkey raised without antibiotics, applewood smoked bacon, lettuce, vine-ripened tomatoes, and avocado with pure mayo on sourdough. You could order online, and when you arrive at your local Panera, your food will be packed and ready for pickup. Nice and easy and delicious. All at your neighborhood Panera. And now, enjoy the show.
It's hard to believe it, but it's back to school time just about. And whether you've been a class mom or you're going to be a class mom or you will never be a class mom, this book is for you. Funny and Smart, my favorite combination when I'm reading a book. Class Mom is Laurie Gelman's debut novel, and I've been looking forward to chatting with her, and I'm thrilled to have her on the show. Welcome to Reading with Robin, Laurie.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
Right? You thought this was this interview that was going to never take place because I got so excited to talk to Laurie off air, and then, it's like, oh, yeah, I guess we really need to do this because there's so much to say. Because that is the greatest joy for me in doing the show and doing Reading with Robin is reading a book I love and chatting with the author. And I was thrilled to see it on People right next to Tom Perrotta's book, Mrs. Fletcher.
You were pleased. I was so pleased to see it right there.
Weren't you? That's a big deal.
People Pick? Yeah, no, that was a big deal, yeah.
People Pick is a really, really big deal. And you can find Laurie on Twitter and on Instagram and more to come. and
Facebook. I'm on Facebook as well.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't know if that was your personal page. Okay, and on Facebook, you can find Laurie on Facebook. And I love the story about how this book even came to be. You first had an idea for a children's book, which I thought was a great idea. I really like that idea, how the suggestion to write the story came from your agent.
Well, he was actually taking me out for lunch to tell me about that I was yet again rejected by another publishing company for my brilliant children's book idea, and this made 37. And
wow.
It was one of those moments where I was like, oh, what a week I'm having. You can't believe what I'm going through at school. And I have to do this, and I'm dealing with these parents and these crazy teachers, and I don't know what to do. And I had him laughing so much. He said, why don't you write a book about that? And I really didn't I was like, really? Like anybody would care about this? He's like, well, you had me caring, and I'm a 60-year-old man. So, I went home and I started writing, and he was right.
I think that is so awesome. So it went from like a sad lunch to a very happy lunch.
Exactly.
And that's something a lot of times readers don't realize how many rejections come with this task of getting a book out there, and that it is, a lot of authors make it look so easy, and once the books are out there, it just seems like, yeah, of course this would be published because we love this, but it's really not like that. That's those are, sometimes people sort of wallpaper a space with those rejections, but they're part of the story, and they brought you to Class Mom, which is just out a couple of weeks, and I'm reading so much great stuff about it. And so as soon as I saw it, I don't remember where I first saw it, and I said, oh, this looks like my kind of book. And that combination, and I was telling Laurie off air, reading this book out loud and laughing. And when you're reading a book, which is a pretty solitary business, and you're laughing, it's great, too, if you're out when people will say, what's so funny?
I've had a lot of husbands say that, my wife literally woke me up laughing. She was like, so he said, I want to know what's so funny. So they would grab the book, and they read it as well, and they laughed as hard as their wife. So that's actually, you really don't have to be a mom of any kind, class or otherwise, to enjoy it, I think.
No, you don't. There's something here for everybody, and there's just so much that's relatable, and the way you sort of skewer these different stereotypes, which they are for a reason. It's just the emails are hilarious, and of course I think back to as a kid or being a kid or having our mom be a class mom, the jobs were so minimal. I mean, we might have gone on one or two class trips. Nobody had an allergy, right? And they brought in cupcakes once or something.
Right.
maybe more involved. There might have been like a talent show participation or something, but what is it about being a class mom that is so fraught with comedy?
Well, I think it's being themselves, because I think a lot of people forget that the class mom is not a paid participant. They're not giving her a salary for doing this. And they treat you like you're an employee sometimes because they just feel like they can bark orders at you and get things done and feel free to share their opinion. And, they maybe not participate. It's a big job. I mean, and I think it's great that people do it. I think that I'm not patting myself on the back because, I didn't love it the whole time I did it, but it's necessary, and people do have to, step up to the plate and participate in class for their kids if they can.
It's very important, right.
And if you can't, that's the whole other thing,
Well, then there's the guilt. How many years did you have this blessed position?
5 soul-sucking years.
In a row?
In a row. Because I did Jamie's class, and then I did Misha's class, and then I did Jamie's class, and I did Misha's class, and then I said no more. And then the 5th year, they said, "Oh, but you're so good at it." And you think they really butter you up and tell you how great you are, and what really is like nobody else wants to do it. So
it is a thankless. It is and it isn't. It's kind of like. It's one of those things, like you say, it's such an important job, and there's so much that needs to be done, and make all those memories for the kids. That's where it is, So
yeah.
It's that kind of thing. But right, everybody must just be like, well, and when they get somebody great, then of course they don't want to let you go. So did you consider dropping it at any other point? And then just were like, okay, yeah, one more year. And then if you do for one kid, it's the next kid. So somebody got 3 years and someone got 2? Uh-oh.
No, well, what happened was I would have probably done it again and just to even it out, but I got fired as class mom in my 5th year.
Laurie, did you really?
Yeah, I really did.
Oh, my goodness. We're talking to fired class mom, Laurie Gelman. Her gorgeous, hilarious novel, Class Mom, is out by Henry Holt. What did you do to get fired?
It's funny because I was the exact same class mom from year 1 to year 5. I would send out these very acerbic, snarky emails, which are part of the book.
Are those real? Wait a minute, those aren't real emails, or were they close?
Those are verbatim. A lot of them I had to as the story went on, I had to just make up new ones. But the first one is exactly what I would send my class as the first email. Yeah,
that is hilarious.
People loved the emails. They thought they were fun. They thought they were funny. Until one parent didn't, and then as soon as you piss off the wrong person, and they go to the head of the school and say they were offended, then, that's it. Your time is up.
Anybody can't be offended. Wait, so you literally got fired from that job from an email?
Yeah.
Can you send me the email? I have to see the email. Why don't people have, it's funny, sometimes people say there's no tone in an email or in a text, and of course there is, but these are clearly so hilarious. I actually, when I was laughing and my daughter was asking, I was thinking, how could you even make this stuff up? But if some of them really were verbatim, that's even more hilarious.
Oh, yeah. It sets the tone, and a lot of the things that I picked up on, like the out of office reply.
That was so funny.
That I had a parent that never contacted me, but always the out of office reply was like the first reply that ever came in. And I had a parent who only ever wanted to bring cups, no matter what. And it was I had a few of those, so that you make fun of that.
Right.
That's a sort of a safe thing to make fun of.
Sure.
But then when you get into other stuff, you sort of have to
I guess
be very careful.
So. The cups I do remember the parents that always sort of wanted to bring that same thing, I'll do cups and napkins, and then somebody else would, in the book there's sushi, but somebody would be hand rolling the sushi, or having the class to hand roll it to bring it, so opposite. And sometimes we do best what we do best, and some parents are just show-offs, I just think. So were there ever things that were so funny that you just couldn't use it?
The emails in the book go a lot farther, especially further into the book. Mm-hmm. It's hard to explain because I feel like I put myself as out there as I could. I stepped as close to the line as I could without crossing it as often as I could as a class mom. And in the book, I sort of crossed the line a couple of times.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering, because there's always that. I mean, that's what makes for fun fiction. But it sounds like, from reading the book and from talking to you, I just think I love that you told the stories to your agent and you were encouraged to write this, because it must have felt really good.
Yeah. Well, I think that actually the lunch was the day I think I got fired. And I literally got the email.
Oh, that's
that said,
why you
had to ask you to step down as class mom because you've offended certain people. They would tell me who. I found out who later, and of course I had them killed. But
of course, absolutely.
Yeah, he that was the day. So, and he was saying, like, how would you get yourself fired from a job you volunteered for that you didn't want to begin with? And so I would tell him all the stories. I found a wonderful editor. She found me really because she picked the book, but she was so spot on with all her criticisms and all her suggestions. And as hard as they were to hear sometimes, and there was one, and she gave me an impossible task, which I handed her the book, and I thought, okay, well, we're done. And she came back, and her biggest note was, you have to put an entirely new plot line in there. You have to, which was so difficult. I can't even begin to tell you how tough it was because it was a perfect story. There was no room for anything else.
Yeah.
And she was so right about that. It took me 4 months, but I jammed it in there like trying to get a ring on, and it worked. And it made it a much better book.
Well, I think that's the amazing part about the relationship between an editor and a writer. And like you say, she bought the book. So there's that passion for the story to start with, but then the trust of an author to really see that and to put 4 more months into something, but that you come out of it saying, okay, this is the way the book is meant to be. It's just the perfect blend. So that's really cool. I was
very happy, very lucky to have her, Ms. Anna Jones. And she was great.
Yes, wonderful editor. And there's now that I'm thinking about how much more of it's true, I'm having other thoughts in my head. Because some of it is things that happen in life, sometimes you do really think, how could you even make this up? And what's also going on with people that is in the background or layered in with their own anxiety about stuff or their own guilt, but the automatic reply. So that's the person who got the first time slot for the conference then because they replied first. Did that work, encouraging people to respond?
Well, when I did it, I used to give prizes for for speedy response times or who can send me back the funniest email.
Oh,
and
good one.
That's the part. People loved to read them, and I would even have dads who never read the class email because it's just usually cut and pasted from the PTA. Mm-hmm. And they would email me back, not their wives. They would like, this was hilarious. Can't wait for your next one.
I love that.
Here's a knock-knock joke. Okay.
See, that's the thing, because to get people to open it and to have, your voice is just so much fun. And I can imagine it would be like, ooh, what would Laurie like me to do for class next? I can't wait.
The secret was always in the like what it was about. I think one of the first ones was read every damn word of this email.
Yes.
And or just something. I forget some of my reads, but that would hook them in, so they'd have to open it up because, who's telling me to read every damn word of an email?
Exactly. What is this? Who is this person? Well, and I love the. I was looking at Picture Day. There's some of these that were my favorites. The signing up though for the fall conference, because the next day is a day off, and people needing to get. Well, one woman needed to get to Manhattan, right? I mean, just the way you describe these mothers and all of the characters, you give so much, just enough where it's like, I totally get this. I know this person. This.
Right, but hopefully without insulting them,
No, because you got to sort of laugh at yourself. I sort of conduct myself that way because there's too much to get down on. So when something comes out that's smart and funny and relatable, I want to read it and I want to share it with the Reading with Robin audience. You can find Laurie on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Which is your favorite, or which one do you like to spend the most time on?
I love Facebook, but I'm starting to understand the magic of Instagram. I really am. It's a very quick, happening medium to get your message out.
Absolutely, and as long as you hashtag it properly, tag people, take the picture well, no pressure. And I sometimes feel like, wait, can I put this one up? I have feedback, so I try my best at that. But I do think that a lot of people are on Instagram so much more and more, and that's where they're finding out about all sorts of great things. So when books are tagged properly, people will find them. And
I feel like Twitter's for famous people. If famous people want to make an announcement, they do it on Twitter.
Yeah, some of them should stay off.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know, right there. And I saw a great picture of you with Andy Cohen and Bethany Frankel. That must have been a lot of fun.
Can I tell you, that was probably one of the most fun experiences I've had as a guest on a TV show. It was hilarious.
I'll have to go back and watch it. How could it not be? If the three of you were on there, that must have been really funny. Was it on Watch What Happens Live? Was that when it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was just the bartender. I wasn't I was not one of the featured guests, but it didn't matter because the energy in the room, it's super small. The audience is great. I mean, Andy was my boss at CBS when I worked there. So, we had that history.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. It's such a funny show, but being the bartender is a huge. I mean, that is a huge honor. Doing anything over there.
I was thrilled. Are you kidding me?
I can only imagine. Did you run out? Was there enough?
I know. No, they have a lot of liquor there. I'm not going to lie.
No, that's why I was wondering if it was possible that you could have even run out, because I know they do a good job there. And also the tour, what's been the most fun? I saw that you met, I can never pronounce her name properly, but the oldest living yoga instructor who's
I can't
amazing.
Remember. I can't, what's her name? Tao?
Something. So I can't ever say it, but she's just, people
she
should
was
Google
pretty amazing.
her.
She came to my book signing I did a book signing at an Athleta store in Scarsdale, and she came, and she is really an amazing woman. She still teaches. She's 99 years old.
It's just, I know, it blows me away when you hear stories like that, and more seem to find people. I mean, not that it's an everyday occurrence, but when you read something or you see somebody, it's so remarkable. And she's one of those people that I'm in awe. So that was really neat that she came to the book signing. That was, and then anything like really surprising happen or run into people that you hadn't seen in a long time that read the book, or things people will say to you about the book or anything?
Well, you know what happened the other day, and it's the first time, it's happening more and more that people who I actually don't have a personal relationship have read the book and liked it.
Oh, fun.
I was at spin class, and the teacher said my name out loud, just said, "Laurie Gelman, did you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah, I heard it." And the woman beside me, who I'd never met before, looked at me and she said, "You're Laurie Gelman?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I'm reading your book." And I almost hugged her. I'm like, "Oh, my gosh."
Oh, that's so fun. Because you don't know who's, you put it out there, and then it takes on a life of its own, and you don't know. And I think that through Instagram and all the social media, the books are, the good ones are getting out there more and more, and people love to share, and it's so instant. People are reading something or they shoot a picture, and the next thing you know, people are, so it happens all over the place. So that's really
cool. As much as I don't really get social media, I do get it because it is so instantaneous.
Oh yeah, no, it really is. It's a whole new way. I mean, it's not new at all, of course, but I think people are getting more and more savvy to ways to market things and just to have them out and about. And your book is such a beautiful one to photograph.
I know. I love the cover. It's so
beautiful.
Cheerful. That's a lot of, when I'm picking a book, I hate to be that shallow, but I do judge a book by its cover.
Oh, we totally judge.
My first instinct is usually if something is bold or catches me, and then I'll read the flap and see. Sometimes I'm completely wrong, but I think my book stands out.
It totally stands out. I did an event last night, and we were talking about book covers and judging, and I don't know. I absolutely do, and it can work for or against a book, really. Yeah. It's sort of like it's not The Voice where you turn around and that you just pick it based on something. You're looking at this. It's quite a visual, and I would absolutely pick this book up in a second. And I don't usually even read a flap. Now it's different because the publishers send them, and it's a whole different thing. But when I used to be a lay reader, or whatever it's called. That's a lay reader. Yeah, lay reader. I would just pick them up and look at them and just say, I have to have this book, and this cover is absolutely standout. And
I'll tell you who did that beautifully.
Yeah.
Is, Maria Semple in Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
Yeah.
That was one of the best covers. There was no way I wasn't going to read that book.
That's true. That was a great cover. I know. And you know which one? I can't think of the name of it now. Listen to me. It was Wendy Wasserstein's last book. And I loved the paperback and the hardcover so much I didn't even realize it was the same book when I picked up the paperback. That's how much I loved it. I know, on both. I started reading it, and I thought, wait a minute. I know this book. Yeah, Maria Semple's book. Wonderful cover. Both of them, actually. Her new one, too. The second one also is a great cover. And speaking of which, what have you picked up this summer or read? I know you're a big reader, so what would you like to read?
I literally just finished Lilac Girl.
So good.
Sometimes I'm a little bit behind on my reading because I try not to read when I'm writing because I don't want anybody's voice in my head. And I've been doing a lot of writing, so I haven't been reading as much. But I just finished Lilac Girls, and I thought it was wonderful.
It was
just
wonderful. I agree. And, it's impossible to stay current because there are, I don't know how many come out a week. I will mess up
500.
the number.
I found
I knew it was a lot. Okay, I knew it was a lot.
Yeah.
So
500 books a week.
A really big number. So I think sometimes it's like you can do a few that are current, and then there are ways to, I keep books that I swear I'm going to get to, and I know at some level, I don't know. I don't think we can live that long. But
sometimes I like to go back and reread. Like I did before Lilac Girls, I reread Marjorie Morningstar.
Oh, yeah, that's like the best, Marjorie Morningstar.
It was great, but can I tell you, I remember for the first time I read it, I was heartbroken and sobbing, and I was so in this story. And now I'm so much older now, and reading it again, it was like, it's really good, but it didn't affect me the same way.
That's the thing about reading books at different points in life. I've reread books that I read as a teenager, and they're so, whatever it is that is just so touching, or the angst that it provides or reconfirms or whatever, it's just so, you move along in life and things look different. So there are some books that I know that I don't want to reread. It could be tricky. Like I want to just leave them in that place, but then there are some, and there are book clubs that will do that. I know I've heard from a lot of them that they'll go back and discuss how it's different, or books that were so meaningful at a pivotal time, and then they can look so different. And Ann Hood has a small book out that just came out, and it's called Morning Star. There might be some words after that, I can't remember, but it's about her love of reading and how the importance of books in her life. So It's a good little one to pick up. Yeah. And another, you didn't ask, but I'll tell you, if you didn't read The People We Hate at the Wedding, Grant Ginder's book, that's one that the cover would jump out at you. If you're
I'm going to write that down because I'm actually now looking for a book.
Are you? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That one. Also, Courtney Mom's Touch was also really, I think you'd really like that. But The People We Hate at the Wedding, I remember saying, for the title alone, but it's just really smart and funny, and I think you would really like it. I'm laughing.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'm excited.
Yeah. So, and you're working on another book, I hope?
I'm working on the sequel, because nobody in America has demanded it, but I'm writing on it anyway, because I feel like I had more to say about this character. I had more to share about her life. And,
wow.
Her kid was only in kindergarten when we left her, so now we've got to go through, some of the more difficult years.
Well, and there are many of those to come. And it's funny, I never ask if there's a sequel coming, because a lot of times readers get very attached to characters and authors have moved on. And so that's always a tricky thing, but I'm so glad that I didn't have to ask and that you offered it because I can see where there's much more to say, and there's so much here, and kids can get so old, so you can just keep going with it. It's like a sitcom that, you can just keep going.
No, it's so true.
More of Class Mom to come, and no pressure, but I'm sure you'll get enough of that from your publisher. So don't worry about that. This was great, and I really am so glad that we got to chat, and I will connect with you on some of the other ideas. And what are you looking forward to as the book continues to find its way out into the world?
Well, I'm Canadian, so I'm doing a little Canadian book tour, and I would really love for the book to do well up there as well, since it's my home and native land. And but other than that, I'm just enjoying the ride. This is all new to me, and it's really been fun.
And that's the thing, it's new, but you've seen people go through it, and friends and books, that have come, and events that you've been to, I'm sure, so is there anything, that you're expecting, like, oh, I hope this happens, or somebody else shows up? There's always great stories that come out of the book tours, I find.
Oh, good. I look forward to that. Nothing great happened yet, but tomorrow night's another event, so we'll see what happens.
Where's tomorrow night?
It's called the East Hampton Authors Night.
Oh, is that the big
benefit to?
Yes, the big
library. The library. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's this weekend. That's like that whole big. That's huge. I know. There's so many wonderful summer festivals, book festivals, and in the fall. I mean, they continue, but there's nothing like summer and books. I mean, that's just like the perfect combination. So
I agree.
Oh, that'll be fun. I'll look for that on Facebook. So you can find Laurie on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And it's Class Mom. Do not miss this book. It's a Reading with Robin favorite. So thank you so much, Laurie.
Oh, thank you, Robin. I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you.